Hey, hey und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Demo-Vorstellung. Heute mit der Demo My Wife is a Spy. Ja, das ist eine kleine Visual Novel, also für Leute, die jetzt nicht so auf Visual Novel stehen. Vielleicht jetzt eher eine uninteressante Demo, aber ja, ich habe die gesehen und hatte irgendwie Bock, die Demo zu spielen und deswegen gucken wir uns diese Woche ja, diese Demo an. Und nächste Woche Sonntag kommt dann wieder etwas Spannenderes für die Leute, die jetzt nicht so auf Visual Novels stehen. Und ja, aber heute diese Demo und ich würde auch sagen, wir gucken uns die Demo erstmal auf Steam an. So, da sind wir bei der Demo, beziehungsweise das ist das Spiel. Wir spielen aber die Demo, weil das Spiel ist noch nicht draußen. Hat auch noch kein genaueres Veröffentlichungsdatum. Es steht noch Ankündigung bevorstehend. Und ja, genau. Das Spiel, wie gesagt, ist eine Visual Novel, also viel Text, aber ja, auch so ein bisschen ja, Entscheidungen und so. Und ich hatte halt Bock, diese Demo zu spielen. Und deswegen gucken wir uns auch diese Demo an. Aber natürlich lesen wir erstmal vorher die Beschreibung. In this Otome Isekai visual novel, you are thrown into an arranged marriage with the cold Duke of the North. Explore political tension, shifting loyalties and two routes, romance or rebellion. Support your husband or betray him, like a true villainess, and take control of your fate. Klingt irgendwie cool. Und ja, genau, das ist halt das, was, ja, das ist halt die Demo, die wir heute spielen werden. Das ist halt wahrscheinlich unser Ehemann, beziehungsweise mit denen wir, ja, mit dem wir quasi zwangsverheiratet wurden und wir sind wahrscheinlich dann die Pinkhaarige mit dieser Schachfigur und wir können uns halt entscheiden, ob wir unseren Ehemann, ja, ob wir unseren Ehemann supporten oder ob wir unseren Ehemann eher verraten, um unser eigenes Königreich vielleicht dann irgendwie aufzubauen und die Königin von dem ganzen Land zu werden. Ja, ich bin gespannt, wie weit die Demo gehen wird, weil, ne, Demo natürlich zeigt ja nicht das ganze Spiel. Ich bin gespannt, wie lange die Demo geht und wie weit wir da quasi in die Story eintauchen können. Und ja, aber ich würde sagen, bevor wir das sehen, gehen wir erstmal zurück ins Spiel und starten direkt die Demo dann. So, da sind wir zurück. Ich habe auch Settings geguckt. Ich habe so ein bisschen Message Speed runtergestellt, weil wie ihr wisst, bin ich nicht sehr schnell im Lesen. Deswegen, und ich würde auch sagen, wir starten direkt ein neues Spiel. Dann starten wir. Choose your name. Ah ja, wir können uns einen Namen aussuchen. Ava heißt unser Charakter hier, aber wir nennen uns natürlich wie meinen OC Jenny. Trigger warning. This visual novel deals with themes of heavy familiar abuse. It gives hope that a person can move on from the years of pain if they leave a toxic environment and find a good cycle of people who support them. Ja, genau, also so, ich kann mich hier kurz wegmachen, so ein little Trigger Warning. Aber ja, wie gesagt, vielleicht packe ich mich tatsächlich rüber auf die linke Seite. Aus irgendeinem Grund sieht man mich nicht, wenn ich mich auf die linke Seite packe. Ich glaube, ich weiß warum. Ich muss das kurz fixen. Und zwar, weil ich ja mit Apfelchen zusammen gestreamt habe, habe ich mich ein bisschen zu weit nach links gepackt. Hier, da komme ich langsam ins Bild. So. Ignoriert, dass das Bild weggegangen ist. Das ist, wenn ich länger nichts mache, wird es schwarz. Also, ja. Ignoriert das. So. Ich hoffe, jetzt bin ich halt nur nicht im Weg von den Charakteren. Das können wir kurz dann, also, ja, also, okay, müssen wir nochmal neu machen. Genau, die Trigger Warning haben wir gelesen. Almost home. Nö, ich bin gerade so nicht im Weg. The gentle wind sways the canopies of trees as I walk through my neighborhood. Genau, diese Demo ist nur auf Englisch, also müsste man schreckliches Englisch ertragen. I'm sorry. The soft breeze and the pleasantly warm June evening weather put me in a good mood. My heart fills with blooming joy as I look around the area. Ich muss sagen, die Gegend sieht echt schön aus. I take in the sight of the neighborhood where I grew up, the family houses, the new and old cars, the stray soccer ball left behind by children. Just one more month until I can finally leave this place behind and move out of my parents' house. All I need is the first paycheck from the job I landed today, and I can start looking for my own apartment, closer to the city center. I hum a happy tune, my steps light. Today I had a job interview for the position of a business analyst at a prestigious corporation. All of my effort spent learning math and economics at college has finally paid off. Only half a year after graduation, and I already have the dream job I've always wanted. Half a year, filled with even more belittling from my parents than usual, telling me that I'd picked the wrong course of study, that I would have been better off not going to school at all instead of pursuing economies. Insisting that with my shyness and fear of people, I'd never be able to impress anybody during a job interview. Saying that I'd end up living with them until I grew old, and insisting I should be grateful for it because I would never survive without them. Wow. I take a deep breath, then release it. I'm glad the years of suffering my father's and mother's pointed words will soon come to an end. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be happy that I landed my new job. Perhaps now that I've proven myself capable of starting my career after studying so hard, things will change for the better between us. Ja, seid ihr da nicht so sicher. After all, I impressed the interviewers so much that I landed the position. Immediately after the interview, they called me with the job offer when I was on the subway returning home. I'm sure my parents will appreciate that. I'm finally becoming independent. With renewed hope, I opened the door to our home. The delicious smell of well-cooked steak wafts in the air. You're late. Also das sagt unsere Mutter. Hat vielleicht auch gepasst, die Stimme. You're late. Dinner's getting cold. Mother glares at me from the dining table. Father sits opposite her, looking at his phone. Achso, da. Ich dachte, das wäre ein Messer oder so. The table is set for dinner and they're already eating. They didn't wait for me to get back home. Sit down immediately and eat. You don't want your mother's cooking to go waste. Right. I take a sit and taste the half-cold steak in front of me. How's work been today, dear? Should I even ask? I'm sure you screwed something up once again. Did you insult a client during a presentation? Ruin important documents? Delete a file with crucial data? Huh? Why would you assume I can't do my job properly? Because you're a useless husband. I can't imagine you doing one thing right, and you've made all of those mistakes before. That doesn't mean I repeat them. I'm not as absent-minded as you are. My parents are going at it again, arguing. I've experienced little love from them all my life. No warmth, no support. They hate each other just as much as they detests me. That's the way our family has always been. That's why I wanted to move out as soon as possible. That's why I'm striving to have a proper career, so I can support myself and get away from them. You're not any better than me. You can't even wash the dishes without breaking a plate. I'm sure you suck at your job just as much as you suck at managing the household. You, how dare you? If you hate the way I keep house so much, then don't eat the food I make, you ungrateful pig. I at least deserve to eat a good meal after all the hard work I do to bring home the money that keeps this family fed. The major money you bring in from your job barely manage that much, especially with Jenny leeching off of us and being unemployed. I curl my clammy hands on my knees, my fingernails biting into my palm. My lip quivers when I speak up. With my parents' focus suddenly on me, now's my chance to tell them that I just got my dream job. Still, their attention fills my heart to the brim with fear. These emotions are nothing new. I've dealt with them all my life, but I can never get used to the feeling of being so small, so inadequate. I am small, of course, and I do amount to almost nothing. No, wait, that can't be entirely true, since I did land my dream job after all. The fact that I'm finally making a future for myself should change the way my parents see me. Boah, wir können uns jetzt entscheiden. Eigentlich habe ich keinen Bock, dass die Eltern uns da, auf uns dann so, aber ja, komm. Sagen wir einfach mal. Actually, I just returned from a job interview and they called me right afterward to confirm that I landed the position. So, you finally decided to stop leeching off of us and become what? A toilet cleaner? What? No, I landed a job related to my field of study. I'm going to be a business analyst. I wonder how long. How long? What, mother? How long you are going to keep the job before they fire you? You suck at public speaking, but as a business analyst, you'll have to make presentations in front of the whole team. Telling people way smarter than you how they can improve their work on the project. You think anybody is going to listen to you? You speak in such a quiet voice that most days I have trouble hearing you. Why out of all possible career paths did you have to choose a role that has so much to do with presenting your ideas to others? You studied economics and finances. If you don't want to be a shop clerk, you could at least become an accountant, so you will have less need for public speaking. Your new employer will see quickly you are not fit for the job you just accepted. Tears well up in my eyes. Nothing has changed. Even though I now have my dream job, in the eyes of my parents, I'm still as useless as ever. I open my mouth again to tell them I'm going to move out soon, but I hesitated. What if I really can't do my job properly and the company lets me go after the first month? Would I have to then return to this house with my tail between my legs? Tremors course through my whole body, fear gnawing at me from the inside out. I told you to just get a job as a shop clerk at the local grocery store. I already went there and asked if they would give you the position. That's the only kind of job someone as useless as you can do. Being a cashier or cleaner is good for you. Business analyst? My ass. We always said studying economics and finance wasn't right for you. You won't do well on the job. The tears overflow and my vision blurs. No. I can't take this anymore. Jenny, you haven't finished your dinner. My mother yells at me when I get up, but I can't hear anything my parents say anymore. I can't see a thing through my tears. I can't hear a word through the noise in my ears. I run out of the house, the door slamming behind me. Laufen wir jetzt über die Straße und werden geisekai'd? Weil man hat ja gelesen, dass es ein Isekai ist. Also eine Isekai-Story. Irgendwie müssen wir ja... Ja, genau. I don't look where I'm going. Heading straight into the street. I just want to get away. Get away. As far away from the pain and toxicity of my parents as I can go. The loud screech of a car coming to a halt sounds from my right. A delivery van coming straight at me. Ach, schade, kein Isekai-Truck. Wäre klischeehaft gewesen, wenn es so dieser klassische Isekai-Truck gewesen ist. Ich blende euch den hier ein. No. I quickly judge the distance back to the pavement or to the other side of the road. I decided to move ahead, step back. Ich würde meistens... kommt halt drauf an, ist es eine Einbahnstraße, also nur eine Straße in nur eine Richtung, dann würde ich nach vorne laufen meistens. Ist es eine Doppelstraße, dann würde ich eher zurücksteppen. Aber wir moven ahead. I run ahead as quickly as my feet can carry me. But I'm not quick enough. Ich glaube aber, es ist so oder so egal. Wir werden so oder so gehittet. A devastating force hits my body and I fly in the air. My body hits the pavement a few meters away from the car. I experienced the worst agony I've ever felt in my life. No abusive words from my parents compare to the searing pain of my body being destroyed under the weight of the car. I cough up blood. I hear screams around me. Someone's grabbing my leg, trying to get me from under the van. There's loud ringing in my ears and blackness fills my vision. Slowly the pain fades. When I come to my sense again, I don't feel any pain anymore. I look down at my body. It's not crushed, deformed, or in any way destroyed, but it's translucent. Around me is pure whiteness, blindingly bright, but instead of my eyes hurting, the sight of the place feels serene and comforting. Hello? My voice echoes loudly in the emptiness around me. Slowly I realize what's going on. I died. I ran into the road, driven by emotions, and got run over by a delivery van. A small laugh escapes my lips. In the end, I really did amount to nothing. I died such a pathetic death, stemming from my own stupidity. Serves me right. Disappointment and regret fill my heart. I had just landed my dream job. I was ready to get out of the abusive environment of my parents' home. I would have finally been able to live my life the way I wanted, to prove my worth to my mother and father and to myself, to build a life of my own. Great, this sucks so much. I want to go back. I want to live my life. But going back to the life I'd lived is no longer a possibility, is it? I had died and gone to heaven? Is that what this place is? Wind blows behind me, a heavy draft interrupting the stillness of the air. I spin on my translucent heel in the direction of the blast and see a red door. In the white emptiness, the red door is very pronounced. I feel a pull towards the entrance. The door beckons to me, dares me to come closer. It's not like there's anything else to do around here. Na, vielleicht hinten mir noch eine blaue Tür. I move toward the door, my steps entirely silent. I only stop when I'm in front of the entrance. To where? My hand hovers over the handle. Should I open the door? A shiver runs up my spine. I feel watched. Someone's behind me, staring at my every move. I turn around quickly, but nobody's there. Only the vast bay of whiteness. If you want to go back to your world, you must complete your mission. Who are you? Who's there? Immer dieses Who are you? Muss ich immer an diesen Jungen denken. Who's there? Fear rises in my heart, but even though I call for the person behind the voice, there's no reply. My mission? What's my mission? Am I not dead? What more is there to do? The door behind me yawns open. I face the entrance. The inside of the door is glowing with warm pink light, inviting me forward. Strange. Curiosity pulls me toward the entrance. I want to go through. I want to see what's on the other side. Ich muss zugeben, wenn so der Eingang ist, ne, mit diesem Pink und so und den Funkeln, würde ich auch durchgehen und gucken wollen, was auf der anderen Seite ist. Ich würde wahrscheinlich erstmal gucken, ob ich um die Tür rum kann und ob man die Tür zum Beispiel aufgehen sieht oder so. Also ich würde erstmal um die Tür rumgucken, aber dann würde ich auch reingehen. My life can't end like this. I want to see what the mission is, so I can go back to my world. I need to live my life more. My resolve clear, I step through the red door. Where is that good for nothing daughter? We're done with dinner. How can the child be so rude as to be late? We've already eaten everything, even the celebratory lobster. What does it matter if she's late, if she doesn't want to eat? She can starve for all I care. Who are these people? Where am I? Pink hair, clothes that would belong at a Renaissance fair, foreign food. There you are, Sophia. Sophia? Who's that? What are you staring at like a dumb lamb, child? Come to eat now, have you? I'm Sophia? Child? Who is this man to me? I look down at myself and see long pink hair. I'm also wearing an outfit that wouldn't be out of place at a Renaissance fair. My skin is slightly darker than my usual color. I take a step forward and stumble. I seem taller now, and something behind my middle constricting my breathing. Is this a corset? I pinch myself, but I don't wake up. The pain is real. The situation is real. Sophia, Dale... Was? Sophia, Dale Carceri. Ist das unser voller Name? Sophia del Carceri? Oder Cesari? Keine Ahnung, wie man das ausspricht. Klingt so ein bisschen französisch. Dale, Dale, Dale wahrscheinlich. Ja. Quite staring at us like you're seeing us for the first time. It's unsettling. If you want to eat something, there are still some leftovers. The woman gestures to the table. My gaze wanders over the lobster shells, eaten clean. There's nothing else to eat except for maybe the berries which the younger woman is currently snacking on. Do they think I'm a dog? That I will lick the plates clean? Listen to your mother, Sophia. What's going on with you today? My sister has always been strange. This is nothing new. Sophia del Carceri. The strange name rings a bell. On my way back from the job interview, I read a webcomic where a person by this name was one of the side characters. Ich nenne sie Cesari, ja. Besser als Carceri oder Carceri. Cesari. The girl had long pink hair, much like I do now. She wasn't anybody significant in the story, just a shy girl who followed the main heroine around as part of her entourage. But that was just a story, and the situation I'm in right now feels very real. I couldn't have been reincarnated, right? That's not possible. I did die, though, and now I'm very much alive. Only I'm not myself anymore. Sophia. Yes, that's your name, you stupid oaf. What in the world is going on with you? The man speaking must be Sophia's father. He once lighted the male lead of the webcomic. He's known for his mean personality. Count Elio Dale Cesari. I grab the edge of the chair as the world spins in front of me. I'm overwhelmed by the new situation. I'm not feeling very well. See, she's not fit for the mission you want to send her on. And what do you think I'm supposed to do about it? She's going anyway. Sophia's always been useless. Finally she'll be able to do something helpful for this family. Sei Dank gestet sie eigentlich wie eine Italienerin. Also die Mutter hier mit der, ne? Sophia's mother and father no longer pay attention to me, arguing amongst themselves. The younger woman continues to eat berries, unbothered by the scene the count and countess are making. She watches me with a laughing gaze that freezes the blood in my veins. What's her deal? Are you excited about finally amounting to something else? Are you excited about finally amounting to something, sister? So she's Sophia's sister, Bianca, a memory supplies. I don't know what everyone's talking about. They'll reveal all to you in due time. They had to pick you, not me. I wanted to prove myself to father, but it had to be you. I have no idea what she's talking about. The Count and Countess continues arguing, the voices getting louder and louder. Why are you taking more and more loans? Are you insane? Soon our situation will improve tremendously, and then we'll be completely out of debt. Was the lobster we ate today brought with the latest sum of money you borrowed from the crown? Of course it was, but worry not, my beautiful wife. Soon our family will get the honor and riches we deserve. His gaze lands on me again. All thanks to Sophia. Now, child, make yourself scarce, and because you dare to miss our special dinner, you will receive only servant food for the next 3 days. You are also confined to your room. What? Why? Dominic, escort Sophia to her room. Lady Sophia. The butler gestures to the door. I take one last look at Sophia's family before I stumble out of the room. The man grabs my shoulder, but I have no delusion that the gesture is to support me. He yanks me along the corridor in a rough fashion before more or less throwing me into a room. Okay, ich dachte wenigstens der Butler wäre nett, aber anscheinend ist er genauso ein Arsch. When the room is locked, I collapse on the soft bed. Memories of Sophia's life begin to flood my mind. Of her relationship with her parents, of her life as a gambling count's daughter. Is this situation for real? Sophia's parents are just as abusive as mine, not caring if she misses meals, calling her names, controlling every aspect of her life. Confinement and starvation are clearly their favorite means of enforcing discipline in their daughters, or rather in Sophia. Since Bianca, Sophia's sister, is their golden child, who they barely ever felt the need to discipline. Why did I have to go from one toxic family to another? I don't want to live through abuse, not again. What choice do I have, though? If I'm a noble daughter now, my only way out of this place is through marriage. I just hope my husband won't be an old, disgusting geezer. If I want to return to my world, I need to fulfill my mission. That was what the strange voice said. So what is my purpose here? Sophia's parents mentioned a mission too. I have no doubt I ended up in the body of Sophia for a reason. Ich dachte kurz, das wäre mein Mann gewesen. Okay, war nicht meiner. Gott sei Dank. The crumbling of my stomach interrupts my racing thoughts. The body of Sophia, my body now, difficult as it is to think about, is hungry. Maybe it would would have been better if I had eaten the leftovers. No, I just have to wait for the servants to deliver my meal. I wonder if the Count will come to tell me what the conversation at the table was about. Later that evening, the door opens and a maid puts a tray with soup on the ground before hastily closing the door again. Soup seems like a nice offering. Either the Count changed his order about my food or the servant have taken pity on me. At least, that's what I think at first. Ja, weil sie so schnell die Tür zugemacht hat, kann gut sein, dass wenigstens die Maid so nett war und uns richtiges Essen gegeben hat. I pick up the tray and set it on the desk, sitting down to eat. One look into the bowl, however, shows me that this soup is just the most watered down broth I've ever seen. Naja, zu der Zeit war Suppe wahrscheinlich auch zu 80% eher Wasser. Even so, I put a spoonful in my mouth and eat. I'm too hungry to worry about the quality of the food. Even this tasteless soup is better than nothing. The next day goes by as I struggle to keep myself busy in my confinement. I explore the environment of Sophia's room, trying to get to know her through the items that she holds close to her heart. I quickly discover that, other than the brooch she keeps attached to her day dress, she has little in terms of jewelry. Her father has likely gambled all the family jewelries away. A tall bookshelf stretches all the way from floor to ceiling, suggesting Sophia liked reading. The books are all on empire history, with little in terms of entertainment, so I put them aside. On the nightstand are a pen and paper, but the desk drawer's house little in terms of finished letters or documents. I also try my best to find a diary, but to no avail. I do, however, find a small closet chest. Warmth spreads in my heart as Sophia's memories of the person who gave her the item comes to mind. Chiara, the saintess. Sophia was part of her entourage during her stays in the capital. Judging from Sophia's reaction, she holds the saintess in high regard. I fish under the mattress, finding a small key, and open the chest. Inside is an array of letters with expressive, chaotic handwriting. Chiara's handwriting is much like her personality, always in a rush to do one thing or another, with little regard for inner peace. The opposite of what you would think a saintess would be like. Looking through the letters, I witnessed the evidence of a friendship between Sophia and Chiara. Theoretisch könnte man das wahrscheinlich auch Chiara aussprechen, aber wir nennen sie trotzdem Chiara. Oder nennen wir sie Chiara. Takanashi Chiara ist unsere Freundin. Let's go. At the same time, I'm doing my best to remember the original story of the webcomic. The comic enters around Saintess Chiara as she heals the poor and rich alike with her holy magic powers. Ich frage mich, ob dieses Comic, von dem die Visual Novel abstammt, ob das wirklich existiert oder ob das einfach nur ausgedacht ist. Kann sein, dass das wirklich so ein Webcomic war und die davon so ein Fangame gemacht haben oder so. Ich meine, viele Animes und so haben auch Visual Novel. Zum Beispiel hier, es gibt ja auch die Visual Novel von Planet und von hier School Days, hat glaube ich auch eine Visual Novel, diese Horror-Anime da. Dann, keine Ahnung, einige. Ich will jetzt nicht alle aufsagen, aber ihr könnt da auf jeden Fall googeln, findet ihr sehr viele, die auch Anime-Adaptionen bekommen haben, Visual Novels. Kann es sein, dass diese Story auch tatsächlich existiert? Also dieses Webcomic existiert. She is also a skilled alchemist who invents many potions which help improve health in the Empire. Chiara falls in love with Luca, the Crown Prince, but she also has other love interests in the story. Her knight Antonio, who follows her around like a puppy, and the Duke of the North, Zachary. It is an Otome Isekai webcomic, like many others I've read. Nothing particularly original, but I enjoyed the familiar premise. Sofia del Cesare is a friend of Chiara, but she plays no significant role in the story beyond being a background character. She is shy and doesn't speak much, but it seems Chiara holds Sofia dear. Regardless of her shortcomings, oh, how I wish I could have such a friend. I've never grown close to anybody on Earth. Fühl ich. I become even more curious about what mission Sophia I am supposed to fulfill. Saint Sophia's is nobody significant. What can she change in the story? I get my answer from the Count that evening. He waltzes into Sophia's room like he owns the place, and his daughter too, for the matter. Considering the south of the empire is based on Renaissance Italy. Wir sind sogar in Italien. Deswegen hat sie so Italien. Dann ist unser Name italienisch, nicht französisch. Okay. Dann passt es ja, dass, weil, Hololive Cecilia Immergreen heißt ja auch Cecilia. Dann kann man sie ja auch so ähnlich nennen. Wir haben nur ihren Namen wieder vergessen. This dynamic between a noble father and his daughter isn't that surprising. I get up from my seat at the desk to curtsy to the Count, much like Sophia's memory tells me to do. The curtsy comes out clumsy, and Sophia's father's frown deepens. Did you enjoy your meal? No matter. Listen closely, child. You know our family is in debt. Caused my Count Elios' sick addiction to gambling. Our family needs to get closer to the Emperor. I need to win His Majesty's favor. I know of a way to make all of our financial troubles go away. Wir müssen wahrscheinlich für unseren Vater die ausspionieren. Maybe I'll even be elevated to the position of Duke. Is Sophia's father delusional? I raise my eyebrows. One would need to do something hugely significant for such a change to happen. You will help me achieve true happiness for this family. How so? You are a noble daughter of eligible age. You're in your prime to marry. Together with the Emperor, we've made a good match for you. You will marry Zachary Colville, the Duke of the North. I blink once, then twice. The image of the cold Duke of the North, the archetype type of all dukes from webcomics comes to mind. Dark hair, eyes like ice. A tall, athletic body, haunted by years of fighting with a sword. I could have landed a was match in terms of looks. However, I'm sure you're aware of what a great match this is for you. You will become the Duchess of the North. The duchy controls much of the northern lands of the empire. Although poor due to the limited ability to produce food and the need of really on imports of grain and vegetables from the central parts of the empire. The North has a strong military to ward off the monster attacks from the lands even farther north. I wonder how the Dutch, also das sagen wir in unseren Gedanken. Manchmal achte ich echt nicht darauf, wer was sagt. Aber ich glaube, bis jetzt ist das erste Mal passiert, dass ich das missachte. Der Text ist so lang, der geht sogar über die Textbox. Wir hätten das ein bisschen weiter nach oben ziehen müssen. I wonder how the Duchy wants to deal with their food problem. Right now they're importing food from the empire. If they rebel against the crown, will they import from allies who resent the empire instead? Do they have such allies? And that's the problem your marriage will solve. The emperor told me Duke Zachary is using his strong military to prepare a rebellion with the purpose of making the duchy independent. Memories from the webcomic comes to mind. Duke Zachary does indeed launch a rebellion in the book, prematurely as results later show. The rebellion fails. In fact, many lives were lost in the fighting, and the duchy ends up even poorer as a result after the emperor imposes large taxes on every aspect of their daily needs as punishment. But what does any of this have to do with me? That's why you've been arranged to marry Duke Zachary and spy on him for us. Spy? Yes, you will find out the Duke's secrets and send every ounce of useful information you find to me. Correspondence with any foreign allies the Duke might have. Trade agreements with them, names of dignitaries that are on his side, count books. When we have enough information to prosecute the Duke and have him beheaded, you will become a rich widow. I will have my debts paid by the crown, and we'll all live life in peace and happiness. Do you really think I'm skilled enough to spy on the Duke, father? You're a beautiful woman, Sophia. You grew up well. All you need to do is seduce the Duke. You'll wrap him around your little finger in no time. I'm not really sure this is a sensible plan. Alright, father, I'll do as you say. Anything to get away from another abusive household. Maybe with Duke Zachary I will feel safer, more comfortable. From the way he treats Chiara in the webcomic, he's a good guy in the story. Perhaps we'll even grow to like each other. Will I be able to get the informations father wants from the Duke, though? Do I want to be the cause of Zachary's demise? Do I even have a choice in the matter? Wonderful, my dear Sophia. You will make me proud. I'll do my best, father. My life has always lacked choices. When I did finally make a choice and pursued my dream job, all I got was an abrupt and painful death. No, I can't give up. For the time being, I have to comply with father's plan. Once I'm in Duke Zachary's castle, I will figure out what I want and what I can do. Here. Father takes out a small pocket mirror and hands it to me. This is a communication device. The mirror has been enchanted, so we can use it to converse with each other over long distance. This is how you will give me the information I seek, without anybody finding out that you're spying for the Empire. I look at the unassuming artifact. There's nothing special about the mirror. If it's as important as the Count says, that's a good thing. If nobody knows this item is an artifact, they won't take the mirror away from me. To activate it, just speak my name. I have a matching artifact. Understood? Understood. You're much calmer about the situation than I thought you would be. Good. The daughter of Elio del Cesare has to carry out her duty with dignity. I'm far from calm. I'm just stunned by all the new revelations in my life. I also know how to pick my battles. I cannot disobey a Renaissance count, who is apparently my father. But whatever happens later, when I'm finally away from his grasp, that's another story. However, I have to keep in my mind that this mission must be the one the voice spoke about. So if I want to return to my world, I have to fulfill my quest. My life keeps getting harder and harder by the minute. 2 weeks later, I'm traveling in a carriage to the north to marry my new husband. Sind das Kirschblüten oder so schneebedeckte Bäume? Könnte Bäume mit Schnee bedeckt sein. Norden halt, ne? Sehr kalt wegen Nordpol und so. I finally reached the Norderlands, much of which is covered by forests and snow. Ne? Okay, nur forests. We see villages too as we pass by, but there are few and far in betweens. I glance out the window, curiously, taking in the sights of the different architectures and people clad in leathers and fur on the streets. My heart breaks as I start to understand what the North is like. The buildings are in dire need of repairs, their roofs caving in, plaster coming off the walls. The cobblestones on the streets are broken, which makes the carriage jostle often. It's like none of the villagers care about keeping their home in good conditions. No, that assumption isn't quite right. The issue is that the people's most pressing needs aren't being met, so they don't have the energy to maintain anything else around them. When my eyes see the citizens of the duchy in such dire states, my heart breaks. They look so thin, disappearing under the thick fur coats they wear. Their clothes are in the same need of repair as their homes. They don't smile at all, clearly going about their daily routines without much heart. Hunger, despair, these are the emotions that can make a person so hollow. The North is barely hanging on. The North has always been oppressed by the South. During the story of the webcomic, Zachary decides he's done enough preparation for the rebellion and finally launches his attack. Like many of the webcomics readers, I rooted for Zachary to become the main male love interest for Kiara and for the rebellion to succeed. But I've read many webcomics that started out well and ended not quite as the readers wanted. The stories seemed to be going in just such a disappointing direction. At the last part I'd read, I hadn't finished the webcomic yet. I'd only looked up spoilers to see whom Kiara would ended up choosing. However, now this somewhat badly constructed fantasy world is my reality, and the plight of the people of the North is very much real. The people want to split from the Empire to lead their lives without huge taxes. They already have enough problems with monsters advancing on the homes of the citizens, and Zachary and his army having to stop the attacks. All of these concerns are part of my situation now too. No matter what happens though, rebellion or no rebellion, I know I don't want to go back to the Dale Soseri mansion. I can only look ahead. After 10 long days of travel, the carriage stops in front of a castle. The door opens and a man, possibly the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life, with dark hair curling around his ears and sharp light blue eyes, extended a hand to me. There's a smirk on his face when he looks me up and down. Welcome to the cold north, milady. His words are a greeting, but at the same time they feel cold. There's nothing else I can do though than put my hand in his. I'm a pawn to be married to Duke Zachary, but at the same time I have hope that my life in this castle won't be so bad. Thank you, Your Grace. Unload the lady's luggage. Yes, my lord. Servants move around efficiently. Duke Zachary and I stand in front of each other. A little snowman. Okay, das ist das Schloss. Also recht klein, aber ja, es ist tatsächlich sehr cold und mit Schnee bedeckt. Wie halt so typisch in Geschichten ist immer der Norden voller Kälte und Schnee. War ja auch in Game of Thrones so, ne? Dass der Norden voller Schnee war. Wo ja auch Jon Snow war, ne? Mit der Mauer. He looks at me with a cold, closed-off expression. Is he finally realizing that I'm a real person and that he's really going to get married to me soon? Oh, guck mal, wir haben ein voll süßes Outfit an. Oh, warte, das sieht ihr jetzt nicht so gut. So, ja. Welcome to the castle of Duke Zachary Colville. Future Duchess, I hope you will find your new home suitable for someone of your standing. I look at the man who approaches me and Zachary. Thank you. This is my advisor, Otis Havering. He's my right hand and closet confidant. So he's a person I should be wary of, as he's completely on my future husband's side. If I'm supposed to spy on the Duke, I will have to be mindful to avoid Otis suspicious as well. I need to gain some allies in the castle. It would be best to get the Duke and Otis on my side eventually, somehow. But that's a long-term project. In the meantime, I hope I can find some neutral parties open to supporting me. Pleased to meet you. I'll be in your care if you grace, as I adjust to my new life here. Yes, that's right. You will need some time to get used to your new life and new surroundings. I hope you start feeling at home in the castle quickly. Why is he smirking so much while saying words that are meant to be welcoming to me? This is so confusing. You will be married in the town church in 3 days. Tomorrow the preparation for your wedding will start, milady. Make sure to rest well today. The South doesn't see our marriage as something sacred. They wouldn't care if I just sent them a certificate without a proper ceremony. However, I'm going ahead with the wedding anyway. Thank you, Your Grace. That's actually very thoughtful of Zachary. I know he's opposed to our marriage, but at least he's honoring me like a true duchess. Let's move inside the castle. I'm sure the lady is tired from her long journey north. I have to admit that I would love some rest. We will show you to your room then. When we enter the castle proper, I'm in awe of the spacious great hall with much different architecture and decor than Sophia's father's mansion in the south. One would think a castle so big and made of sturdier materials than the south's sandstones would be unwelcoming, but the sculptures and banners that fill out the nooks and crannies make the atmosphere of the hall grand, but not unpleasant. There's a lot to look at here. The place has been decorated with care. Milady, you forgot your coat. I'm taken out of my thoughts by the sight of a girl. Achso, das war a girl. Naja. With long, curly, dark hair running down the stairs, while a distraught maid follows right after her, carrying an expensive fur coat. I don't need the coat. They're already inside, see? I want to see what my brother's new wife is like. Gut, das ist eher kindlicher Sprecher. Ich habe mir schon gedacht, weil da nur Girl stand, dass das wahrscheinlich die Prinzessin oder so ist. It's cold in the hall, too. You'll get sick, my lady. I won't. Okay, sie sieht älter aus, als ich dachte. Zachary lets out an annoyed huff. The girl jumps down the last step and stops in front of us. Bridget. Ah, ja. Hello, I'm Zachary's sister, Bridget Colville. Pleased to meet you, Sophia Dale Cesare, daughter of Count Dale Cesare. I make sure to introduce myself properly. Wow, you're so beautiful. What a pretty hair color. We don't have people with pink hair in the north. Is that a common hair color in the south? I wouldn't know, but my whole family has pink hair. Amazing! Don't you think she's gorgeous too, brother? This is the moment you're supposed to compliment your fiancé. How can you be so dense? I'm dense? Yes, you may not like that the emperor has commanded you to marry, but why would you take out your frustration on this nice person? Bridget, I've told you not to meddle in politics. It's a topic that's far too complicated for you at your age. I'll be 16 soon, a legal adult. I feared that day. You're so rude. He's been very mean to you, has he not, Sophia? I wouldn't say that. It's the truth, but I can't admit it. Bridget may not be a player in the politics of this house, but I very much am. I envy her for being able to speak freely. So, he was rude to you, Zachary, you meanie. Enough of this, Bridget. The lady is tired from her long journey. We were about to show her to her new quarters. Yeah, sure. I'll find you later, Sophia, so we can talk without this rude brother of mine around. All right. I should stop myself, but I can't help the bright smile that appears on my face. Bridget may be young, but she seems like a kind soul. I'm glad to have met someone so welcoming in the castle. Violetta, give me my coat now, please. I'm going out for a walk. Yes, milady. Bridget puts on her coat and walks swiftly out of the hall and into the cold air of the courtyard. Zachary stares after her with a troubled expression, but then he shakes his head and gestures for us to continue up the stairs. We walk down a series of long hallways. How was your journey, milady? The awkward silence is interrupted by Otis asking me a question. I wonder if he really cares, but doubt creeps up in my soul. He probably just wants to break the monotony of a quiet, long walk. I love the look of the duchy. I noticed how poor the duchy is. How thin and starved the people on the streets are. I know the country suffers from low food reserves in winter and has to import foodstock from the south at exorbitant prices. You must be mistaken, milady. The condition of the duchy is not as poor as you say. Huh? Suspicious increased. Otis gives me a disapproving look. Zachary glances my way, but his expression is inscrutable. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up politics so soon after arriving at the castle. Were they testing how perceptive I am to figure out how likely I might be to meddle in Dutch's affairs? Shoot, I feel like I just made a mistake. This is the room where you will be staying. We arrive at the door, and Otis opens it to reveal a spacious room with my suitcases already inside. I enter and spin around, taking in the sights of my new living quarters. Once again, I'm surprised by the cozy interior. Okay, wir haben hier einen Kamin, so Statuen, Bücher, ein Schreibtisch, wo wir auch schreiben können, ein Spiegel, um uns anzugucken, wenn wir uns umziehen, ein cozy Bed, unser Kleiderschrank, kleiner Nachtschrank und ja, den Rest sieht man nicht. Hier 2 Bilder. I take off my cape and clothes, laying them down on one of the chairs. We will leave you to rest today. The maid that's assigned to serve you will come soon. If you need anything, let her know. I nod and we say goodbye to each other. Zachary and Otis leave, closing the door behind themselves gently. I plop down on the bed, staring at the canopy above. Only now do I realize how dead tired I am after the long journey. There's a knock on the door. When I call in for the person to enter, a maid with a bob of short brown hair comes in with a tray of steaming food. She puts the meal on the table, then turns to me with a polite smile. I get up from the bed and sit down at the table, looking at the hearty stew and crispy bread she served me. Not the kind of fancy food Count Elio loves so much, but I have to say I prefer it. At least here I get to eat proper meals, unlike at Sophia's family mansion. Thank you for the meal. Could you tell me your name? I'm Maya. The maid curtsies to me. Hello Maya, nice to meet you. I'll be serving you from now on as a personal maid, milady. May I ask how your journey was? Also, das sagt sie. May I ask how your journey was? Quite tiring, if I'm to be honest. I think after the meal I'll have to retire to sleep. Is there anything you would require from me? Maybe a warm bath would help. Oh, a bath sounds wonderful. I'll draw one. Are you warm enough? Should I bring wood to light the fireplace? No, the temperature is okay. It's a bit chilly, but I walked quite a distance here in my winter clothes, so I'm fine with the temperature. I've never been a fan of excessive heat. The south was too warm for me, even if I'm inhabiting a southern lady buddy. Oops. Okay, I go prepare your bath then. If there's anything more I can do to serve you, milady, please don't hesitate to tell me. Of course. Maya leaves and my heart feels warmer from our conversation. So few people in my life have ever worried about my well-being. I know Maya is just doing her job, but still, simply being asked if she can do anything to make me feel better gives me a nice feeling. The maid seems professional but kind. I don't think I will have any compliments about her work ethic. At least that's the first impression I have of her. Maya returns when I'm done with my meal and set up the bath for me. Since the meal helped me feel more rested and covered, I think about some questions I would like to ask her. Okay, beginnen wir von oben. What is life like in the castle for you? Can you tell me more about the duchy? Is the duke respected by the people? Does the duke like his sister? Those are all the questions I have. Okay, wir können wahrscheinlich alle sagen und dann sagen, ja, okay, wir haben keine weiteren Fragen mehr. Is Duke Zachary respected by the people? The Duke protects us from harm. Yes, the people respect the master. I feel like Maya wanted to say something more on the topic but stopped herself. Maybe one day I will gain her trust enough for her to tell me what she really thinks about the Duke. Yeah, okay. What is life like in the castle for you, Maya? Do you enjoy your job? I mostly used to take care of doing the laundry and cleaning the corridors before I was assigned to you, milady. I expect my workload to change from now on. I will still be helping others with their chores, but my main job from now on will be serving you. Do you like working for Duke Zachary? He's a good master. I have no complaints about my life at the castle. Maya seems cold with her answer. I suppose before I learn more about her true opinion of Zachary, I first have to gain her trust. Can you tell me more about the duchy? The area around the castle is famous for its hot springs. Oh, wir haben heiße Quellen. Nice. There are also many hills nearby. The kids like to slide down them. Since we have snow almost year around, it's the go-to activity. for the children. The castle is the safest place in the duchy. You can wander into the nearby woods and hills without worrying that anything bad will happen to you. What kind of bad things can happen around here? As I said, no harm will come to you here. I feel like Maya is deflecting my question. Ja, wahrscheinlich Diebe oder Monster. Does the Duke like his sister? They're siblings. Maya states her words so matter of factly, as if the fact that Zachary and Bridget are brothers and sisters explains everything about their behavior toward each other. I know that, but it's not my place as a maid to speak about my master's relationship with his family members. Maya sets this boundary between us firmly. I have to respect her for that. Those are all the questions I have for now. Thank you for your answers, Maya. The bath is ready. I'll help you wash up, milady. I'm embarrassed about Maya helping me take a bath, but I don't feel like it would be proper to dismiss her when she just wants to do her job. I suffer through the embarrassment of having her help me. When she's done and I'm dressed in a nightgown, I jump into bed. Maya leaves me to rest. As I'm falling asleep, I think about my new situation at the castle. Anxiety makes my heartbeat quicken. I feel cold and hot at the same time. I can't fall asleep, tossing and turning, worrying that I said the wrong thing today multiple times. My husband and his advisor haven't been mean to me, but I feel like a fish out of water. It's dark when I finally drift off to sleep. Your only purpose in life is to be used as a pawn. You've been arranged to marry Duke Zachary Colville and serve me in getting a better position in life. Have you spent all the money you got to the crown of Familie? Ja, das haben wir. Don't worry, bla bla, better soon, ja. The only job you do, ist ein bisschen. You lack the subtle politicans you don't know that much about anyway. You're going to fail. Warte mal. The only job you could do is as shop clerk or cleaner. You want to become a spy? Huh. You're not good enough to get the Duke on your side, to deceive him until he parts with his secrets. I might have welcomed you to the castle, but that doesn't really mean we want you here. Perhaps Maya and my sister may have been kind to you, but everyone else wants you gone. I will divorce you as soon as I can. I will find a reason to cast you aside. You're never going to gain my trust. I wake up with a start sitting up in my bed. My heartbeat is erratic, my throat dry. I feel like the world around me is spinning. I can't breathe. I need to get out of here. Quickly wrap the shawl Maya left around my nightgown and step outside the room into the much colder hallway. The air is circulating more here, a small draft chilling me. I welcome the sensation. I take a few deep breaths, feeling the exhaustion from almost having a full-blown panic attack settling deep in my bones. It was just a nightmare. It's not real. And yet, deep down, I feel like the words that Sophia's parents, my parents, and Zachary threw at me in my dreams were the truth. I'm not good enough to be a spy. I'm not going to gain Zachary's trust, no matter what I do. No, I can't think that way. I need to find a solution. I want to get back to my world, so I can finally lead the life that I've always wanted, so I can start my career. I worked so hard for that reality. I need to calm down. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find the way back to my room. But I don't care right now. I decide to go for a walk down the long corridors of the castle. I walk for a while until I stumbled upon a jar door. Light falls through the opening and voices can't be heard from within. I stop walking, curiosity getting the better of me, when I realize the people speaking are Zachary and his advisor Otis. Aber ich würde sagen, bei diesem Plot-Twist speichern wir und hören für heute auf, denn ich nehme schon ein Weilchen auf. Ja, über eine Stunde. Und deswegen gehen wir auch zurück zum Titel und würde sagen, das war's für die Demo. Ich habe einen guten Einblick bekommen. Ich habe auf jeden Fall Bock, die Demo dann, wenn sie mal rauskommt, vielleicht im Stream dann zu spielen. Vielleicht werde ich sogar dann auch meine Haare pink färben. Würde sicher gut passen zu unserem Isekai-Charakter dann. Und ja, aber genau, wie gesagt, das Spiel hat ja noch keinen bekannten Release-Datum, also steht ja noch hier aus, wann das Spiel rauskommt. Und mal gucken, wann das Spiel rauskommen wird und ob es dann auch, wenn es rauskommt, deutsche Synchro hat. Also hier steht dabei nur Englisch, aber kann sein, wenn es dann released wird, dass es auch deutsche Texte hat. Also nicht Synchro, aber deutsche Texte. Wäre cool. Mal gucken. Ich fand das Spiel auf jeden Fall interessant. Ich bin gespannt, wie unsere Reise dann auch noch, wie unsere Reise verlaufen wird. Ob wir es schaffen, Zachary um unseren Finger zu wickeln und ob wir dann quasi Zachary für unseren Vater ausspionieren oder ob wir einfach die Informationen dann am Ende für uns selbst nutzen, um halt die Königin zu werden und unseren Vater hinzurichten oder unsere Familie hinzurichten. Könnte auch passieren. Ich bin auch gespannt, wie viele Enden das Spiel haben wird, ob es quasi ein fixes Ende gibt oder mehrere Enden, die man erreichen kann, also mehrere Enden dann haben wird, indem man vielleicht, keine Ahnung, die Informationen unserem Vater gibt oder die Informationen für sich behält oder einfach die weiterhin dann die Frau von Zachary bleibt und die Informationen geheim hält. So, wisst ihr, so 3 verschiedene Enden. So einmal das Ende, wo wir die Ehefrau von ihm bleiben, oder das Ende, wo wir unserer Familie helfen, das Reichtum zurückzukriegen und Könige zu werden, oder ob wir quasi dann nur für uns selbst sorgen, also nur wir quasi uns das alles schnappen und unsere Familie hinrichten lassen oder so. Da bin ich echt gespannt, was es für Enden gibt, was die Entwickler sich da vorstellen. Und ja, aber ich würde sagen, für heute war es das. Ich hoffe, ihr habt einen schönen restlichen Sonntagabend. Hoffe, ihr kommt gut in die neue Woche rein und dann sehen wir uns wahrscheinlich Dienstag glaube ich nicht, weil ich glaube Dienstag habe ich tatsächlich einen Termin, aber dann wahrscheinlich Mittwoch oder Donnerstag zu einem neuen Stream und da spielen wir dann Pocket Mirror weiter. Ich weiß nicht, warum ich immer Little Goody Two Shoes sagen will, das ist ja Pocket Mirror, was wir aktuell spielen. Genau, spielen wir dann Pocket Mirror weiter und nächste Woche Sonntag werde ich dann wahrscheinlich eine andere Demo spielen. Ich habe überlegt, Last Report zu spielen, die Demo, oder Metamorphosis. Da habe ich einen Playtest. So eins von den beiden Spielen hatte ich irgendwie Bock gehabt, als nächstes zu spielen. Wahrscheinlich eher Last Report, aber mal schauen. Und ja, dann verabschiede ich mich, wünsche euch einen schönen restlichen Tag und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.